All right, so we are at week 9 right now. So welcome. We are already through that halfway point, right? Cresting the hill. And today's practice, we're going to revisit the balancing poses that we learned from last week, and then introducing a few new ones, eagle pose as well as dancer pose. These are a little bit more challenging positions, in my opinion, for the practice, but all balancing poses are really challenging. So do the best that you can. We will be visiting a little bit more of meditation and breathwork practices, so incorporating that a little bit more towards the end of our practice also, and then revisiting also the previous poses that we've been learning from before. So sun salutation series, our standing postures, as well as some warm-up poses and seated stretches. Okay, so let's go ahead. We got one more person coming in. All right, so we're going to start off in a comfortable seated position or easy sitting, known as Sukhasana. Sukha means easy or at ease. Also can be translated as happy. So one ankle in front of the other, and the knees can be out nice and wide. You can always grab your block and place that underneath your seat and give yourself a little extra elevation. And sometimes it just feels really nice in the pelvis to be able to have the knees drop below the hips and create some space so that you can sit up a lot taller and with a lot more freedom. I hope you guys like my Halloween pants. All right, so let's go ahead and close our eyes. I want you to inhale, take a full breath in, and you're gonna lift your shoulders up towards your ears. Then exhale, loop them down and back. Good, inhale, lift the shoulders up again. And exhale, down and back. Inhale up. Exhale, down and back. Let's go through one more. Inhale, really shrug the shoulders up. And then exhale, looping down and back. See if you can get the shoulder blades to touch. And then releasing the shoulders all the way down. Hands are either resting on your knees or in your lap. The eyes are closed and your mouth is relaxed. I want you to take a full breath in through your nose. Let the belly, chest, and low throat fill up on the inhalation. And then open up the mouth, exhale, let out a sigh. Fill up with breath, belly, chest, low throat. And open up the mouth, let out a sigh. One more time, inhale. Open up the mouth, exhale. Keep the mouth closed and continue to breathe. Filling up into your belly, feeling the side waist and the low back expand. And as it rises up into the chest, you feel the side ribs and even the back, the thoracic spine start to open and move. Then all the way up into the low throat, you feel the collarbones, the shoulder blades, the very tops of them start to respond to the movement. And as you exhale, feeling the breath pour back out of the body. I'm just noticing what resistance that you might be working with today, whether it's a physical tensility, maybe there's actual texture to your breath. Maybe there's some type of energetic tension. Maybe you're feeling rather sluggish and sleepy, overworked and tired, and just that inertia of being stagnant is resisting against our moving forward or even moving at all. And perhaps even recognizing any mental resistance that you might be finding right now. Perhaps these are pre-existing scripts of what we have told ourselves of how life should be, how we should be, and what we should be doing. Sometimes those shoulds are really unhealthy for us. Maybe we should stop shoulding on ourselves. And taking a few more of your deepest breaths, seeing if you can just relax some of that resistance. Allow yourself to be here with breath. Surrender whatever it is that's holding you back. I'd like for you to set an intention for your practice today. We call this the Sankalpa. And this intention can be either just a word, something that has meaning to you, something that might have inspiration. Maybe it's a phrase, an affirmation. Maybe it's a feeling. Let this be the focus for your practice today. Just as we'll be continuing our visual focus for our balancing postures, our drishti, it's important that we have this intentional focus as well. It gives us purpose and meaning behind our practice as we continue on, and as we become more challenged. And very slowly flutter the eyes open. Okay, let the fingertips come to the floor beside you and inhale. We're going to reach the arms all the way up. Exhale, bring your hands together at your heart center. And then inhale, open the arms out wide into a T. Good. Exhale, take your right arm across the body. You're going to scoop your left arm underneath, hooking the elbow. You're going to bend that elbow and bring your left hand towards your face. Keep your right arm straight and then press your right arm away from you. So now the arms are actually pressing into each other. Lift your right shoulder up towards your ear and then shrug it back down. You should feel a little bit deeper stretch there behind that right shoulder blade, right into the rhomboid, the trapezius. Good. Take another full breath in and deep breath out. Good. Once more, inhale. And exhale out. Inhale, open the arms apart. Pull the thumbs towards the back. Lift the chest up. High, heart is high. Exhale, left arm reaches across the body. Right arm scoops from underneath and draws the arm towards your face. So right hand comes in towards you. Left hand resists. Sometimes resistance is actually a good thing. We always find that resistance, sometimes challenges and resistance are bad things. But in fact, when we have resistance, this is where we rise above our current conditions and we become stronger, more flexible, smarter, more resilient in life. And it's important that we recognize how much resistance is, appropriate for our lives. And press that left arm away from you a little bit more. Lift the shoulder up if you need to, and then drop it down. And then just take another full breath in. If we didn't have any resistance in our lives and everything was perfectly nice and easy to come by, we'd be some big, fat, lazy slobs. Good. Open the arms out wide, and then let the hands come down and back behind you. Who's woodworking? Yeah, my neighbors. You guys can hear that still? Good. So fingertips are on the ground. Squeeze the elbows in and lift the chest up. Good. Pull the elbows away from you. So the elbows are going back behind you and your chest goes in the opposite direction. Really feel that big opening. Yes. And then walk the hands forward. You're going to fold over your crossed legs. That looks great, Tiffany. That looks good, Michelle. And then you can have your hands, so one hand is stacked on top of the other, and then let your head rest on top. Sometimes that feels a little bit nicer. If you do have a block, you can place that block underneath your head too. Just sometimes having your head connected to something gives us that place, an opportunity for grounding. Good. Walk the hands over towards the right. Stack your left hand on top. See if you can line up the fingertips. And then allow your head to come down. Press down into your left sit bone, and then open up your left ribs. Good. Big full breath into left side body. Deep full breath out. Good. Walk the hands in through center and then across to the other side. So now right hand will stack on top of the left. Fingertips, if you can, line them up. Great. And then let your head come down. Press right sit bone into the ground and open up through your right ribs. And then walk the hands through center and back in towards your body. You're going to change directions of the crossing of your legs. Inhale, sweep the hands out wide and high. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, the arms go wide. Exhale, bend the elbows, take the hands to the floor behind you. Inhale, press the chest and the elbows apart. Good, big opening here, especially across those collarbones. And then exhale, walk the hands forward over your crossed legs. Good, so just slowly waking up our body, introducing it to movement. We'll get into a little bit faster pace as we go through our sun salutations, but just slowly welcoming the day. Good. Press the hands into the floor. And I want you to prop yourself up so that your palms are on the ground, thumbs are touching, and the elbows are straight. You're going to inhale and take your right arm out wide like the wing of a bird and keep reaching, reaching, reaching until you feel the rib cage rotate back behind you. Think of this less as an arm stretching back and more so as your right lung stretching back. Notice how that changes a little bit more of that sensation that we're not reaching back with the hand, right? That we're reaching back with our rib cage and our torso. That the hand just goes along for the ride. Nice. Right hand comes down, thumbs are touching, and then same idea. The left arm's going to go out wide to the side, and then we're going to turn left rib, left lung, open towards the left side. Keep pressing down into right hand until you can feel that left arm go in the opposite direction, reaching it away from you. And just knowing that our hands and our arms are an extension of our rib cage and our heart, and just treating them as such. Good. Releasing that left hand down. You're going to either prop up onto your hands and knees by rolling over your ankles, or you're going to come through the legs, wrapping over to one side. You can swing it around. There we go. Hands are directly underneath your shoulders. Fingertips are spread out. Tops of the feet are on the ground. Inhale, draw the belly down and lift the tail and crown up. Squeeze the shoulder blades back. Find your cow position. And then exhale, round the spine into cat. Pull the navel in, tuck the chin into chest. Inhale, open up. cow. And exhale, round into cat. A little bit more through that low belly. Yeah, good. Inhale, open up. Exhale, round into cat. Squeeze. Feel that lift from the navel. This is actually an abdominal work or abdominal exercise. Inhale, open up. And exhale, crawl. Good. If you truly want to feel how this can be an abdominal exercise, inhale to your cow, exhale to your cat, and then press into the tops of the feet. Hover the knees about an inch. You'll feel how your belly muscles have to pack in and up to get your knees to float. Carefully lower the knees down and then lift the tail and crown. You guys feel that? Yeah, good stuff, huh? Exhale, round through the spine. You can do it again if you want to. Pressing into the tops of the feet, hover the knees up. Good, and knees down, inhale. And then exhale, round through the spine. Last one. Inhale the knees down, finding your tabletop position. And I want you to curl your toes underneath. We're gonna take it back in a downward facing dog. Let the head hang down, maybe shaking it yes or no. Releasing any tension from your neck and spine. Good, and inhale. Take your right leg up and back behind you into down dog split. Reach it up nice and tall. Spread through the toes, lengthening up as best as you can, and then exhale. Right foot steps forward between your thumbs. Bring it all the way there, and then sink down through your hips. That right heel is directly underneath your knee. The shin is pressing forward, and your left heel is pressing back. So we're going to come into a little bit of a twist here. So left palm plants on the floor. Right hand underneath your shoulder or underneath your elbow on top of the knee. So see if you can get the elbow to stack above the wrist. You're going to use that to help turn your belly towards the right leg. Yeah. Should feel like a big stretch there. You might be feeling this in your back and your spine, in that left hip flexor. I feel it in the hip flexor myself. Good. Right hand comes down and then stepping back, downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, left leg reaches up and back behind you. Down dog split. Lifting up. Oh, yeah. Exhale, left foot steps forward between the thumbs. Coming into that lunge shape again. Hips sink down. Chest lengthens forward. Feel your left shin lengthen out in front of you as you reach back to your right heel. Big stretch. Good. Another full breath. And then right palm is going to come to the floor. The hand is directly underneath that shoulder and the hand lines up with your left foot. Left hand on top of the knee, elbow stacks on top. Press down into left hand to turn the rib cage. Good. See if you can slide left shoulder blade away from your ear. Keep that length through the back leg. Sometimes that back knee is going to want to get low, especially as we're working really hard here to stretch out that hip flexor. See if you can lengthen through the heel and then lift from the right thigh. Good. Left hand comes down and step back. Downward facing dog. Good. Then looking forward between your thumbs, you're going to walk your feet to the top edge of the mat. Just want you to take a moment. Toes are facing forward. Knees are bent enough so belly can rest on top of the thighs. Let the head relax down, maybe shaking it yes or no. And then from here, you're going to roll yourself up to a standing. Pull the navel in. See if you can roll, roll, roll. Just like that rounded spine of the cat position. And then letting the shoulders stack above your hips. You're going to take a full breath in at the top. Then exhale, nod your head down and slowly start to roll yourself all the way back down, bending the knees. Belly will touch onto thighs. Head relaxes down. Inhale at the bottom. And then exhale, rolling yourself all the way up, rooting through the feet to help lift you. Inhale at the top. We'll go back down one more time. Exhale, nod the head down, round through the shoulders, keep them relaxed. Bend through those knees so you really can access that low back. Belly comes to thighs and then inhaling at the bottom. Exhale as you roll yourself slowly up to stand. Good, and then inhaling at the top, finding your way into your mountain pose. All four corners of the feet are touching down. Maybe lifting the toes up. You can find those arches. And then releasing the toes back down. So that's important. We don't want to always have our toes flying up. We just do it just so that we can feel the arches of the feet lifting. Good. And then with your next in-breath, circle the arms wide and high. Lift up. Exhale, fold in half. Hinge from the hips, standing forward fold. Inhale, right foot steps back into lunge. Hips down, chest lifts, looking up. Smile. And then exhale, left foot steps back, downward facing dog. Inhale forward into plank, shoulders over your wrists. And then exhale, the knees lightly touch down, tail is up, chest and chin to the ground. Inhale to cobra, hips down, tops the feet to the ground, heart pulls forward. Exhale, bow and take it back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot steps forward, top edge of the mat, bring it all the way there, hips down, chest lifts, looking up. Exhale, left foot forward, standing forward fold. Head relaxes down. Inhale, reverse the swan dive, lifting up. Upward hand salute. And then exhale, arms down by your side for mountain pose. Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, fold in half. Inhale, left foot back, lunge. Hips down, chest lifts, looking up and smiling. And then exhale, right foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale forward into plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra. Tops of feet pressing down. Use that to lift your chest. You're also using your hands and the back muscles. Exhale, bow, take it back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, look between the hands. Left foot steps forward. Hips down, chest lift. Exhale, right foot forward. Standing forward fold. Inhale, reverse the swan dive. Lift up. Exhale, mountain pose. Inhale, bring the arms up. Upward hand salute. Exhale, fold in half. Inhale, right foot steps back, lunge. Hips down, heart lifts, look up and smile. Exhale, left foot back, downward facing dog. You ladies look nice. Inhale, forward to plank. Good. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, bow. Take it back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot forward, lunge. Exhale, left foot forward, standing forward, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Exhale, mountain pose. Inhale, upward hand salute. Exhale, fold in half, taking it down. Inhale, left foot back, lunge. Look up and smile. Exhale, right foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale forward into plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, bow and take it back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot forward. Get it all the way there. Good. Exhale, right foot forward, standing forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, lift up. And exhale to mountain pose. Stand tall. Stay here for a moment. Just breathe. Good. Then inhale, sweep the arms up towards the sky. Exhale, fold in half, hinging from the hips. Inhale to a flat back, lift halfway. Exhale, fold in half. Inhale, bend your knees, sink your hips, reach your arms forward and lift up. Chair. You remember this one, don't you? Sit back into your heels. Squeeze those thighs back. Good. Exhale, fold in half, standing forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. And exhale, take the hands down and back behind you. I want you to interlace your fingers, glue the heels of the hands together, take the knuckles back. Okay, so just like we were doing in our seated position, we had our fingertips on the floor, we're pulling our elbows back. I want you to do the same thing with your chest and your arms moving away from each other. Good. Send your hips forward as you drop the knuckles down, lift the chest, and then exhale. Tip forward, belly on thighs, hands reach up and overhead. See if you can keep the heels of the hands glued together. Wonderful. Hands come to your hips, slide them all the way down to your heels. And then inhale to a flat back again. And exhale, fold in half. Inhale, reverse the swan dive and come all the way up. And exhale, arms come down by your side. All right, so we're going to incorporate right now. We're going to work on the arm portion for our eagle pose. Now, eagle pose is a full body posture, and it has the challenge of also being a balancing pose. So with the complexity of it, I like to break it down so that you're only working on half of the body at first, getting that understanding first before you incorporate all of the balancing of the posture itself. All right, so I'd like for you to do this with me because sometimes just watching it can be a little bit more confusing. All right, let's bring our arms up towards the sky, lifting them nice and tall. And then exhale, bring your arms out wide into a T shape. Turn the palms to face down. And I want you to sweep the arms down at a diagonal out in front of you. Cross your right arm on top of the left, just like shoelaces. All right, with this one, I want you to bend your elbows. You're going to cross above the elbows. So when you bend your elbows, that right elbow is going to wedge into the left elbow crease. So just taking a look at when you were doing that type of motion. Now your palms are facing away from each other. Your thumbs are pointing towards your face. All right, we're going to do another wrapping at the wrist. I don't want you to actually turn the hands, okay? I want you to keep the hands exactly as they are and facing the direction that they are. Just want you to take your right hand forward. That's the top arm. Take it forward and then see if you can bring your palms to touch towards each other. Okay, did you guys see that? So now I took that right hand forward and then I brought the palms to touch. Okay, so I didn't turn my wrists to get into the position because we're actually wrapping a second time at those wrists. Okay, once you find that your fingertips can touch onto the palm, or as close as that as possible, I want you to lift your elbows up and the fingertips up towards the sky. Now, there might be some of you right now that are like, I can't do that. So some of the possibilities and the things that might go astray with that is if you're having trouble getting your arms to cross above the elbows, chances are you have a little bit larger of a chest, whether you're male or female. So if you have challenges with that, then I'd like for you to come into a bear hug. So that right arm is still going to be crossing over the left, but your fingertips are going to wrap around to the back of your body. Okay? So this becomes that alternative so that you don't feel like, I really can't work into this pose. You're kind of like here. Okay? If you're also having trouble with getting your hands to come together, this tends to be a flexibility issue. So what you can do with that is locate a strap or even a towel. You'll place it in whichever arm is going to be on the top. So that's going to be what's going to be hanging down. And then you grab onto the strap and then you try to choke up on it to get those hands closer to each other. Okay, so you can see how that bridges the gap between the arms so that you can start to work to bring those arms towards each other. All right, before we get into the other side, do we have any questions or concerns? Do we all know what form of eagle arms that we'll be able to do? Can I get a thumbs up? We're all good? No, that's good. Cool. All right. So let's continue on. Let's do the other side just to kind of ingrain that in our memory. Let's inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale the arms out wide. Turn the palms facing down. Swipe the arms across the front of your body at a diagonal. Left arm's going to go on top of the right. Bend the elbows. The fingertips are up towards the sky. And then top arm, which is the left arm, is going to go forward. You bring the hands to touch. Good. Fingertips up, elbows up, shoulders shrug, down and away. Now you might be recognizing some of that sensation to what we were working on at the beginning of our practice today, seated. We had that arm crossing over. We're working into the same type of stretch in those muscles, okay? This just might be a little bit different. This is an excellent stretch for you, especially if you've been sitting at a computer all day, working on your midterms. It really gets into those back shoulders, especially as they get really tight and tense. Good. Drop the arms down and release them down. All right. So if we don't have any other questions, let's go ahead and continue on. Feel free to unmute yourself, and then I'll stop what we're doing so I can address your questions. Okay, let's go along. Inhale, let's reach the arms up towards the sky. Exhale, fold in half. We'll revisit eagle pose later on. Let's inhale to a flat back, lift halfway up. Legs are straight and strong. Hands are on the thighs or just above the knees, maybe on the shins if you're a little bit more bendy. And then exhale, slide the hands down, bending the knees, belly to thigh. Inhale, walk the feet back into plank position. So the legs are strong, hands underneath the shoulders. Keep the body engaged. Good. You're going to exhale, send it back, downward facing dog. Inhale, take your right leg up and back behind you. Reach it up towards the sky. Good. Exhale, right foot steps forward between the thumbs. Bring it all the way there, finding that lunge shape. We're going to be balancing on the ball of our left foot here. And I want you to keep a bend in your right knee. So we're coming into lunge, but this is going to be another version of it. This is called high lunge. We're going to walk our hands on top of right thigh and to come upright. Eventually, hands could be either at your heart or up at the sky, stretched up tall. Reach back through your left heel, lengthening through that left hip flexor. Good, reaching up all the way. Good, another full breath in here. Deep breath out. Bend deeper into your right knee. Yeah. Good, and then open your arms out wide into a T shape. I want you to bring your belly over your thigh, right over the thigh. Left hand comes down to the ground. Right arm is still out wide. You're going to turn your rib cage towards the right. Sink down through your hips. Lift up through right hand. So just as we were doing before, we want to see that we can turn from the lung, pressing down into that left hand. Right hand goes up and away. Good. Exhale. Right hand comes down to the floor. You're going to spin your left heel down and come into your side stance position, warrior two. So reverse the cartwheel of your arms. I'm going to change shapes or directions so you can see me. Warrior two. Branching out through your arms, bend deeper into the knees. See if you can keep your hips level so you're not tipping down into one side, but the side waist feels long. Lengthen out. Good. Reverse the warrior. Slide the back hand down. Reach right fingertips up and across. And then inhale back to warrior two. Straighten out your right leg. Reach forward with your right fingertips. And then take the hand down onto thigh or shin. Left hand towards the sky. Look up. You're going to rotate your left lung towards the sky. Squeeze from those inner thighs. Good. Feel that big stretch. And then inhale, lift yourself back up. Keep the front leg straight. We're going to turn our right toes in. Yes. Then take the hands back behind you. So now your right toes are actually not facing towards the wide angle of the mat, but they're turned in slightly like pigeon toes. Take the hands back behind you like we've been doing. Knuckles reach down and back. The chest lifts up, hips go forward, and then exhale, tipping down. Let the head relax down. Weight is in the toes. See if you can bring the hands all the way away from the hips and then overhead. Yeah, just like that, Tiffany. Yes. Michelle, bring the heels of the hands together. Yes, that's going to get into those shoulder blades a lot more. Oh, there's the juicy stretch there, huh? Good. Hands come to your buttocks. Slide them all the way down to your ankles, and then plant the hands on the floor. Walk the hands forward to your right foot. Sink your hips down and forward. Exhale, you're going to step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, take the left leg up and back behind you, down dog split. Reaching up as tall as you can go. And then exhale, left foot steps forward between your thumbs. Setting up in your lunge. Good. And then we're going to walk our hands on top of our left thigh. If you can do it without walking your hands, you can just lift yourself up, either hands at your heart, maybe arms stretched all the way up towards the sky. I want you to feel that big stretch in the front of your right hip flexor. Send the left shin forward, lift up with the chest. Keep reaching back with your right heel. Shoulders shrug down. Good. And then open the arms out wide into a T shape. You're going to bring your belly over your thigh, bend deeper into the knee, and then plant the right hand on the floor. Turn from the rib cage, left arm to the sky. Good. So again, we're rotating from the rib cage, stacking left lung on top of the right, and then the left hand just happens to be up in the air. Another full breath here, big stretch. And then exhale, left hand comes down to the floor. Spin the right heel down, having that heel to arch alignment, front heel to back arch. You're going to set yourself up into warrior two. Again, I'll turn yourself around. You'll see the front view. Arms branching out, left knee is bent. Right toes turn in just slightly as you press down into the ball of the foot and that outer heel especially. Good. Taking a few breaths in the pose. I know you probably want to leave the pose. You know what's coming next. Just be patient. Flip the left palm up, right hand down the back leg, reverse warrior. Bend deeper into left knee, please. Good, then lift yourself up, warrior two. Straighten out your front leg. Reach forward into triangle pose. You're gonna reach, reach, reach. Feel that left bone deep into hip socket, and then take the left hand down, right hand to sky. Remember that we're not placing that left hand on the knee. We want to make sure that we're not pushing the knee down. It can really do some damage. Good. Lifting up through the side waist, rotating from the belly. Good. Another full breath here. And lift yourself all the way up. Turn your left toes in. Both sets of toes rotate towards each other. Take the hands behind you. Interlace the fingers with the weird crossing. So opposite thumb on top until it feels weird. Heels of the hands glued together. Knuckles down. Chest lifts up as your hips reach forward. And then exhale. Send the hips back enough so that you can reach your hands up and overhead and eventually towards the ground. Speaking of being eventually towards the ground, eventually your head will be touching onto the ground. Don't worry if it's not there today or this week or in this semester. Just because you can bring your head to the ground doesn't mean that you're any closer to enlightenment. Good. Hands come to your hips. Slide them all the way down to your heels and then all the way down to the ground out in front of you. Turn your left toes to face the short end of the mat, the front of the mat, and sink your hips down and forward into your lunge shape. Just walking the hands over. Step back, downward facing dog. Good. Looking between your thumbs, I want you to walk your feet forward. Bend your knees a lot. And then inhale, reverse the swan dive, come all the way up to stand. Lift tall, and then exhale, mountain pose. All right, so we're gonna make our way into what's known as dancer pose. Now, there are dancer prep positions, and this posture does certainly get into a lot deeper forms of it, very advanced forms, in fact. Kind of looks like that figure skater where you're grabbing a hold of your foot from back behind you. I'm not going to demonstrate that today or be able to. But what we're going to be working on is just maintaining the balance through our standing leg while feeling this bowing sensation through our torso. So that same sensation where we felt our elbows press in the opposite direction of our belly and our chest, you want to feel that same pushing away from each other in this posture, okay? So what we're doing is we're going to actually grab a hold of our foot, one of our feet, from the back side. Whichever direction you prefer, you can do it where you're grabbing a hold from the outside of the foot or from the inside or the arch of the foot. I personally prefer the outside of the foot. Okay, if you want to watch this first for the demonstration, then we can continue this on our own. All right, so for the dancer portion of this pose, so we'll prep ourselves by grabbing a hold of the foot and squeezing the heel towards our buttock. Notice that I'm going to try to bring my knee back. So the tendency is for the knee to kind of come forward a little bit. I want the knee to point straight down and line up with the other leg. I'm still lifted tall through my body. For the rest of the position, okay, so this is the prep position, and you can certainly stay in this shape, especially if you're looking to get that quad stretch. For the rest of the position, you're going to bring your opposite arm up so that the gaze lines up with your elbow crease. From here, I'm going to kick my right foot back so it moves away from my butt. Then that same elbow reaching in the opposite direction of the chest, I'm going to start to tip forward, forward, forward with the right toes going up towards the sky. I'm keeping my drishti fixed on something out in front of me, and I'm going to lift myself up and slowly release. All right, so I want you to try the same thing. We're going to start by balancing on our right foot first. Okay, so I'm going to switch sides. You can see that as well as we're working to it. So make sure that you are on stable ground as best as you can. So if you have carpeting, if you can find something that's a little bit firmer, that can help you with your balance a bit more. All right, balancing on your right foot, standing nice and tall, lifting up through your core. Bend your left knee and grab a hold of the foot with left hand. Just take a moment or two to feel the nice stretch in that left hip flexor. Another thing that happens with this knee is it wants to go forward. It also wants to go wide. See if you can pull the leg down so that it feels like if you had your left foot down on the ground, you would be in mountain pose. Good, lifting up with the chest a little bit more. The next action, we're gonna bring our right arm up towards the sky. You want the elbow crease to line up with your gaze. You either have your palm up, the side, or palm facing down, whichever you prefer. And then kicking your left foot back into your hand so it moves away from the body, away from your bottom. Pull your elbow back, chest goes in the opposite direction, and start to tip forward. As you tip forward, you're leaning with your chest down and out in front of you and left toes to the sky. Take another full breath in here. Deep breath out. Full breath in and out. And last breath here. Inhale to lift yourself all the way up. And exhale, release from the pose. All right. Before we move on to the next side, any questions, comments? Thumbs up. Cool. Cool. All right, let's move along. So now we're going to be balancing on our left foot, bending the right knee and grabbing a hold of the foot either to the outside or inside, whichever you prefer. And then finding your balance on that standing leg. Again, trying to fix your drishti on something out in front of you that's not moving. Finding your intention, your sankalpa for the practice today, and see if you can embody it through this movement as a pose. Wonderful. All right. Then raising your left arm up, elbow crease lines up with your gaze. You're going to kick your right foot back away from your body. Then elbow, hand, chest move away from each other. Feel how your body starts to find that beautiful arch. You're going to tip forward, right toes towards the sky, taking full breath in and out. In and out. Good. In and out. Lift up tall and release. Arm and foot. All right, that's dancer pose. How'd we feel with that one? Is it challenging?
It was a little challenging, but
Doable? Yeah, cool. All right. Let's go ahead and we'll stand back at our mat when you're ready, standing in your mountain pose. Inhale, circle the arms out wide and all the way up towards the sky. You're going to exhale and fold forward, hinging from the hips, taking it all the way down. Inhale to a flat back, lifting halfway up, and then exhale, fold in half. This time you're going to inhale, bend your knees, sink your hips back, and come into chair pose. Good. With our chair pose, we're moving into our next balancing posture known as eagle. Okay, so we're going to incorporate a little bit of the legs first, then work the arms, and then play with our balance of the legs. Put the weight into your right leg. The knees are still bent. Lift your left leg up. Cross the leg up and over until the toes come to the ground. I want those thighs to be touching. So really get a deep bend in that right knee so that there's no light that can shine through your legs. You're in a pee-pee dance pose right now, so don't let anything trickle out, okay? Now, bring your arms out wide into a T shape. Palms facing down. Sweep the arms down, cross from above the elbows, wrap at the wrists. Palms are touching, the thumbs can touch your third eye, and the fingertips go up towards the sky. If you're in the bear hug, working with that. Good, sink down with your hips a little bit more. All right, now for the balancing portion. You always have the option for this eagle pose to keep the toes on the ground, especially if your balance is being really challenged today. Otherwise, you can lift the foot up, left foot goes up, and then maybe the left toes wrap behind the calf. Inner thighs squeeze. Sit down deeper into the pose and breathe. Fixing your drishti on something that's not moving. Good. Untangle the arms, lift up, and release the arms and legs. Challenging, huh? Yeah. Yes. I stopped working out at 11:04, but I'm watching. Okay. Do what you can. Looks like Tiffany's still typing right now. My ankles, so much blood flow and uncomfortable to say the less. Pushing through it as long as I can. Yeah, it's a lot on all of our joints, like all of our major joints, our ankles, our knees, our hips, our shoulders, and our elbows and wrists are actually feeling this nice internal squeezing. Okay. Nice is relative. We're doing the best that we can. I know that for me, my left side is just my more challenged side whenever I'm doing my practice. And I happen to be mirroring you, so I'm actually demonstrating on my left side. So I'm always feeling that sensation of like, oh, this is burning. Oh gosh, how much longer is this going to last? And I'm teaching this, so I know exactly how long it's going to last. But we learn to just breathe through it and see how we can manage through the process of it. So let's work on the other side and see how we fare. Just try to make your slate, your mental slate, blank, and don't have any of the expectations from any of the other sides or poses that we've done before to bring into muddy this side or this posture. So sometimes we think, oh, our left side is that challenging side. It might actually be the easier side today. Okay, so let's bring your big toes to touch, heels slightly spread. We're going to bend our knees, sink our hips, and then reach our arms up towards the sky, chair pose. We're going to come into our eagle pose through chair. Weight goes into your left foot. Right leg's going to lift up and over until the toes come down to the floor. Reach the arms out wide. Palms are facing down. Sweep the arms down and across, bending the elbows and wrapping at the wrists. Fingertips go up, elbows go up, shoulders shrink down. And finding a good spot for that right foot to maybe wrap around the ankle. Maybe you just try to lift the foot up and practice with that. I still want you to sit down into the pose and really feel that deep squeeze of the inner thighs. Breathing in and out through the nose, maybe sitting the hips back. And again, finding that sankalpa, that intention for your practice. Breath goes in, breath goes out. Stay with it. Good, last breath here. Untangle the arms, lift the leg, and slowly release. All right, so that's your eagle pose, Garudasana. You may have thought, I don't know, for me, I would have thought that eagle pose would have been a lot more expansive. Something like this, almost like a warrior 3, where you're tipped over. You're like, that feels more like an eagle to me. But I try to remember that this pose, that maybe it's not the wings or arms that are expanding, but more so our shoulder blades. That those are the true wings of the body. Okay, that those arms are just the extension or the accessory of it. And then we're kind of like crouch down a little bit into the nest of our being. All right, let's continue on. Let's inhale, reach the arms wide and high, lift all the way up. And then exhale, fold forward, hinging at the hips, taking it down. Inhale to a flat back, lift halfway up. Exhale, fold in half. Inhale, you're gonna bend your knees and lower your hips down into a narrow squat. And then come all the way down onto your seat. Good. All right. Let's bring the soles of our feet together, knees out wide. It's called bound angle. We're going to approach this pose yet again later on in the semester. It's also known as cobbler's pose. So it's the same shape that a cobbler would put their shoes in between their feet to help work on the soles of the shoe. Grab a hold of your ankles and then inhale, lift up tall. So you can use the strength of your knees and your buttocks to press down. So this should feel really nice after doing that same tightening sensation in our eagle pose. This should feel really nice, especially on the groins, to balance that out. And then exhale, start to tip forward. Oh yeah. And so we're tipping forward from the pelvis, trying to move our belly button towards our feet. The spine is going to remain long until our pelvis is not going to move any further, and then we can round the spine and maybe smell the rosy feet. Good. Feeling the breath move throughout the body. And then slowly rising up. Keep your right leg tucked in. I want you to send your left foot forward. If you want your strap, you can use your strap. Coming into our head to knee pose. Inhale, lift the arms up. And then exhale, bring your belly to your thigh. Maybe the strap goes along the foot and you can hold on there. Or you can keep a bend in the knee and still bring your belly to thigh and allow the head to relax down. Shrug the shoulders away from your ears as you lengthen and inch your belly forward towards your left heel. Take another full breath in. Deep breath out. Inhale, reach the arms forward, lift yourself all the way up. And exhale, release. Let's switch the legs out. Right leg goes forward, left knee bends. Head to knee pose on this side. I'm going to turn sideways. Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, come forward. I'm just allowing the head to relax down. If you happen to pause from the practice, this might be a good place to come back into it. So maybe the poses were getting really challenging before, which is okay. And just coming back into it, seeing if you can readdress the breath. As we start to shift modes and get into this internalizing, this deepening, this accessing the softer and more passive side of the practice. Good. Another full breath in here. Wonderful. Reach the arms forward and all the way up towards the sky. Exhale, release the arms down by your side. Let's bring both legs forward. And this time I actually want you to bend your knees. want your knees to be bent just a little bit, enough so that your arms can thread underneath. You're going to want to have your legs close together. So we're going to bring our belly onto our thighs, scoop the arms underneath, and see if you can clasp onto opposite elbow or forearm as deep as of a tucking in as possible so that you can hold on to those legs. Okay, so keeping your belly glued to your thighs. Once you start to press your heels forward until you feel like your belly is going to come up off the thighs. So that might still be a bend in your knees like I have right now. You might be able to go all the way straight. Okay, you may not be able to bend the knees or straighten out the legs very much. Just work with wherever you are. And then relax your neck, hang the head, and breathe into low back. And this is a great release for the opposite, which was our dancer pose, which is that nice back bend, very awakening posture. This is a very relaxing and soothing pose. Good. Take the hands to either side of your legs. You're going to press up, right, with your torso. Slide your hips forward towards your heels. We're going to make our way onto our back. Take the legs with you as you roll onto the back. I'm going to adjust my hair. And feel free to do the same. So if you do have a ponytail with your the back of your head, sometimes that can be pretty uncomfortable. So adjusting it so that your head can lie flat. You can always redo your hair later. And just rock side to side, massaging out the back. And then bring the arms out wide into a T shape. Palms stay facing up, the knees stay tucked into your body. Twist the knees and the belly towards the right as you look to the left. See if you can slide left shoulder blade down and away. And eventually allowing that top foot to relax down. So sometimes even if the foot is lifted or the knee is lifted, we have trouble relaxing that leg or even just forgetting to relax it. It's okay just to bring yourself into a place of ease. Good. And inhale, lift the knees back up through center. And then exhale, the knees tip over to the left. Rotate from the rib cage. And keep the rib cage where it is, and then rotate from the hips, excuse me. And then look over your right shoulder. Good. Full breath into your lungs. Even deepening into that right lung a bit more. Good. And inhale the knees back up through center. You're going to give yourself a final tuck. Knees pull up, or forehead pulls up to your knees. And then release your head and shoulders down. Extend the legs out in front of you, or just keep your knees bent and place the feet on the floor. So coming into our corpse pose, making your way all the way down flat, or with the knees bent, whichever shape feels most restful and at ease for your body. Close the eyes, relax your mouth. Maybe grab a towel to place over your eyes. Just allow yourself to finally settle in. This practice is this opportunity for us to move into stillness. So all the asana or the postures are the moving. And we reach the peak of our practice, which is that place of stillness. That opportunity for us to pause and just be. Continue to breathe. The reading for today is titled, Live Slow Enough. Live slow enough, and there's only the beginning of time. Follow anything in its act of being, a snowflake falling, ice melting, a loved one waking. And we are ushered into the ongoing moment of the beginning, the quiet instant from which each breath starts. What makes this moment so crucial is that it continually releases the freshness of living. The key to finding this moment in all its freshness again and again is in slowing down. Often we are inconvenienced. When we are inconvenienced, we're being asked to slow down. When we are delayed in our travel or waiting for a check at a restaurant, we're being asked to open up and look around. When we find ourselves stalled in our very serious and ambitious plans, we're often being asked to refine the beginning of time. Unfortunately, we are all so high paced, running so fast to where we want to be, that many of us are forced to slow down through illness or breakage. In this, we're such funny creatures. If we could only see ourselves from far away, we'd be able to seem like a little colony of insects running into things repeatedly. Thousands of little determined beings butting into obstacles, shaking our little heads and bodies, and running into things again. Like the earth that carries us, the ground of our being moves so slowly, we take it for granted. But if you should feel stalled, numb, or exhausted from the trials of your life, simply slow your thoughts to the pace of cracks widening. Slow your heart to the pace of the earth soaking up the rain. And wait for the freshness of the beginning to greet you. From where you are, take a full breath in. Hold the breath in at the top. Exhale and release the breath out. Inhale, fill up. Find the full expansion. Hold in. And exhale, release slowly, deeply. Again, inhale, filling up. Hold the breath in. And exhale, releasing it out. Take another full breath in wherever you are. And just open up your mouth, let out a sigh. Inhale and stretch the arms up and overhead. And exhale as you tuck your knees into your chest, wrap your arms around. Carefully tip over onto one side and pressing into your top hands, extending your top leg. Ease your way up to a comfortable seat. And take a few more of these moments here, sitting this upright position. And see if you can slow down the breath. And as we slow down the breath, we notice other parts of our being slowing down. Our heart rate, maybe we feel our thoughts slow down. Maybe these thoughts slow down so much that the space between the thoughts allows us to be able to see these thoughts individually as they bubble up. And as you can see them individually, you can pick and choose which one you'd like to entertain, which one feels most appropriate for this moment right now. Maybe it's a thought of your intention that you set at the beginning of this practice. And circling back to that. And feel free to unmute yourself for the closing of this practice. Bring hands together at heart center. Bow your head softly forward. The light within me bows to the light within you. Namaste.
Namaste, Professor.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.